Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Doruk, and today I have for you my first game of the second round in the Return of the King tournament. This is the kind of new hot tournament format that people like playing, and the whole purpose is that you crown Aragorn turn one, and yeah, other than that, it's just base game with no balancing. I talk more about it in the first round games. I covered the basics, so if you haven't seen those, go check them out. But yeah, this is the second round of that of that same tournament, and I'm playing against Amroth, and yeah, they're a veteran of the game of the community of the Discord community, and they're an excellent player. I think they're like in the top 10 in the ladder ranking, so they're a really good player. So this is gonna be a very tough matchup. But like I was excited to just have a matchup, have a good matchup. So for this game, I'm playing as free people. My opponent graciously allowed me to pick free people. I was feeling like playing free people. It does not matter. You switch sides anyway. Like you play, it's a best of three, so it won't matter. But they kind of allowed me to pick my sides, and on that day I was feeling a little bit like free people playing. So I'm playing as free people. I unfortunately cannot see my opponent's hand. But yeah, let's just jump right in, right? It might be a long one. It was definitely we played the games, we finished the games just before the deadline, so I'm only recording after the fact, so let's just jump right in. So I start with excellent cards. Thranduil's Archers and Axe and Bow. When you crown Aragorn turn one, Axe and Bow becomes more playable, and the cyclable cards are actually even more valuable because Gandalf tends to stick around for longer. Thranduil's Archers is just like, I think, one of the best cards you can start with. When people play with muster points, they usually like putting an elven elite into Woodland Realm anyways. So Thranduil turn one, excellent. Though first things first, I have to separate some companions, and they're very different schools of thought. You can separate a lot of companions. You can separate. You can bring. Do you bring with Strider with the Boromir and all that stuff? So for this game, I decided to just bring Gimli along with Strider. I decided to not get Boromir with them. The reasoning is, in all honesty, even though Gimli, I'm by the way, I'm looking to send Gimli up in the Dew line to help defend Dew line a little bit more. But with with these dice and no cards, Gimli cannot reach Erebor, and I'll soon touch up on that subject soon. And my opponent gets Isengard down. I continue with Strider down south. They're organizing armies. I move into Minas Tirith, and then I move to Old Forest Road. They get Saruman. I crown Aragorn, and they play Pound to Vorthing. Okay, certainly very understandable. A big question is, now that Gimli's stuck here, why would you not want to get like Legolas, for example, into Lorien, right? Like that's a very common companion separation as well. Instead of just like Gimli being stuck out in like nowhere land, like why would I not want to bring Legolas into a stronghold so I can use its ability? Or maybe bring Boromir with and then use its ability to muster down Gondor. And in all honesty, those are all valid plays. I'm not saying they're better than the other, but like most often than not, you really want to escape with Aragorn. You really want to use another character die, or another like card that moves companions to evacuate Minas Tirith. You know, Aragorn is a very scared. He's a very scared king sometimes. But yeah, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Like you need like when or if Shadow decides to attack Gondor, you usually spend another character dice to move companions, and at that point you move away. You move to Eastemnet to activate Deadman. You move to I think that Deadman is a very powerful card. You wanna keep Shadow respecting it throughout the entire game almost because it certainly changes the way Shadow plays. And yeah, obviously you don't want to get Aragorn trapped in Minas Tirith and just lose your fifth die. And when you do that, you bring Gimli into Erebor. So it like works out perfectly that you crown and you escape, and as you escape, you put Gimli into Erebor. So this is why Gimli is stuck in Old Forest Road as of right now. One downside is that you really cannot bring this Carrack army into Old Forest Road that willy-nilly, because if they attack into Old Forest Road and they kill, then they get to kill Gimli as well, which would defeat the purpose of separating Gimli. So there's a little bit of downside to that, but that's the idea. That was my idea. So turn 2, we get Wizard Staff and Through a Day and a Night. Really good. Wizard Staff is usually a very controversial card, I think, in my opinion. Usually you want to not play Wizard Staff to kill Gandalf to get your die. But since I already have my 5th die, actually saving Corruption increases in value. So this Wizard Staff, cyclable, saves you Corruption. Like I already have my 5th die, so I'm perfectly happy with that. My opponent allocates 0 eyes, and I think it's very bold, because if they don't roll any more, and they only roll 1 more, and I get full movement, I get 5 free movement, and then just like almost definitely guarantee a win. Maybe. Like imagine you get this roll. Like sure, if this is an attack, then it's not looking good. But like my opponent does not get many attacks. They just roll 2 attacks, which is extremely low. You really don't mind early musters, but you obviously want some more attacks to pressure some points, right? Like they can't even reach Woodland Realm. And I get a Palantir Heavy roll. I really don't mind this roll because I have so many playable cards. I'm just gonna cycle, turn Gandalf into a poor man's Witch King, and then just gonna cycle, and then I'm gonna get to move once. Ideally, would want to move twice, but you know I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, it's a perfectly fine roll. Had I had different cards, this would have been a terrible roll. So, and an interesting thing: do you get rid of Palantir of Vorthang with giving them a ring? I really did not want to give them a ring here, because then it's their 3rd attack, and they can suddenly threaten Woodland Realm. Yeah, that was basically the reasoning. And they have only rolled a single Palantir. So yes, sure. Like for a single Palantir, it doesn't like do anything, because if you think that they spent 1 die to play the Palantir, then getting 1 use out of this Palantir is actually net like breaking even in terms of dice economy. So I really don't mind just like letting them cycle once. So, and they do immediately, and they play King is Revealed, which is usually a card that you just throw away in base, but because now Aragorn's guaranteed to be, you know, to be revealed or is in play, it's a 3 master die worth of equipment, which is really good. But yeah, they cycle into a strategy card, makes a lot of sense. I pass again, no reason to rush. They put Sauron to war, makes sense. I start playing all my cards. Wizard Staff, cycle into Deadman, and exactly the reason I wanna. This is a really good card to have, obviously. They start bringing out Southrons, makes a lot of sense. I play Axe and Bow. I want to save Corruption, cycle into Eagles. Okay. They bring Southrons down. And I move. Now that my my equipment is in order, I move. I'm safe. Cool. They muster a Sauron Elite in Dol. I think it makes a lot of sense. If you have the time to be able to muster one Elite here, this one Elite just genuinely proves really strong to attack the north immediately. So I think that's an excellent play. And I just bring down the elves because why not? You can think about bringing Gondor down, but I'm not really sure if they're gonna go for Gondor. But they'll definitely go for elves. So I really wanted to just, you know, and I want my opponent to go to Gondor, by the way, right? I don't want to muster Gondor and dissuade them from going to Gondor because I have Deadman, right? I have, yes, Aragorn crown, but he can just run away. And when you attack Gondor first, then I don't have to worry about Corsairs. I think genuinely, if my opponent goes for Gondor, I'm pretty happy. So, yep, they start going north. And I play Thranduil because I don't have any other playable cards, and Thranduil is really good. I draw into Help Unlooked For, the both no quarters in the deck. A Power to Grade is really good, don't get me wrong, but they're not going for Power to Grade locations yet. And it's a Palantir Master as well, so it's a really powerful card. I'm really happy. Help Unlooked For, you know, sometimes it's the best card that you've ever seen. Sometimes it's just like useless. So we'll see. And throughout these cards, it's going to be a very interesting decision what I choose to discard. So, okay, they go to Old Forest Road. They say hi to Gimli. And we go to turn 3. We prove the Swifter and Scouts. So, what do you discard? Big question. Big question. We prove the Swifter is really strong if you want to bring Gandalf into some place. I think I should get rid of Help Unlooked For here. I really need survivability in Woodland Realm, so keeping Heroic Dead is really good. Keeping Scouts is really good for one they attack Dale. Deadman is obviously the card. Technically could think about Confusion, but also that increases my survivability. I think Help Unlooked For needs to go. But let's see. Yep, okay, makes sense. Past self agrees. My opponent allocates 1 eye. Rolls no more, but again, rolls only 2 attacks. So this is certainly low. Yeah, not much to say. And I roll a beautiful roll. I roll a bunch of musters. I get my movement. And this is a question now, do you use this will to get rid of Palantir? And I was like, I think I should. Against 1 eye, I'm not likely to kill Gandalf. I'm not going to use a ring to move a second time to get Gandalf. So this will is kind of useless. Maybe it's a movement, but it's going to be a movement into Moria as well. I'm happy to be moving a single time and getting rid of Palantir. So I get rid of Palantir. And they're thinking... Yeah, and then when you have all these muscles, you really kind of have to commit early where you put those musters to be able to attack. And my opponent decides to go to South-Rune. Makes a lot of sense because Gimli's there, and yeah, they're preparing to attack Erebor with a big force. And then just do it with a single movement. They're going to be very efficient with their army moves when they move. So which makes a lot of sense. So yeah. So I pass. They keep mustering in South-Rune. They muster again. I do some stock army moves. Yep. I don't want Rohan to suddenly fall all of a sudden. They attack Woodland Realm. Okay, I move because I want to. And I am hit. I am hit. Another, by the way, I completely forgot. I have Wizard Staff. So Gandalf was really not dying. So I think it was correct to get rid of Palantir, but I will. I am hit. I, of course, use the Wizard Staff. That's what Wizard Staff does. It saves you corruption. I would have much rather that be on the Moria move, but, you know, we can't choose when we get hit. So they attack Wooden Realm, and this attack is to put the elves to war to get the Witch King. This is a very inefficient attack, but they want the Witch King. I'm not sure what else you could do. Maybe like move armies. Like you can muster one more time in South Rune if you really want to make a massive army, like a 5/5 army in East Rune. That's also certainly possible, and not rush with the Witch King. But yeah, like they really want a nation to go to war to be able to get Witch King and then speed up their military. So I really don't. I don't see their cards. They might have, like a Dread. Dread and Despair doesn't even do anything. So this is gonna be a bit like they know card it, so they just want the Witch King. And because I have way too many cards, I think I should play Confusion. Yep. And Confusion gets nothing. They deal 1 damage. And I deal 2 back. So, you know, fair trade. Yep. Is this battle decided? Not necessarily. It's still close, but yeah. Oh yeah, we forgot to flip Gondor. Yep. And now I have 2 musters. What do I do with these 2 musters? Elves are at war. I really don't want to start mustering random elves. I decide to get Gondor ready. There's a huge excess force. And if I can get Gondor to war, I can start mustering in Dol Amroth to play around Corsairs, to muster in Minas Tirith. And that's, I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I muster down Gondor. Once one nation goes to war, then there's really no incentive for me to stop from moving another nation to war, because then they can already get the Witch King. I don't need to worry about that. So I move Gondor down. But they Stormcrow it. This is so funny. Because my idea with bringing Gimli here and Aragorn, that I was going to move Aragorn out of Gondor and move Gimli into Erebor, right? And had I been able to do that before the Stormcrow hits, then the Stormcrow is not playable in Gondor, which is kind of funny. But they Stormcrow me back, and I have to give them a leader. I don't know what Gondorian unit you sacrifice, but I think the leader makes sense. So I get rid of the leader, and I use the second die again to move the Gondor down. And yep, they get the Witch King. Makes a lot of sense. All right, so now we go to turn 4. Here, again, big question, what do you discard? I think I make a huge controversial pick here, and I decide to get rid of Power to Great here. Elves are already at war. There are no armies near any of the Elven strongholds, so I can technically muster into them if I really want to. So at this point, Power to Great is only a no quarter and a way to get rid of a dice and 2 cards, which is still not nothing. But I just like the rest of my cards a lot more. With this huge army coming up north, Dane is really valuable, and Ents is a nice way to check Saruman, Scouts, Weeper the Swifter. I don't know. I just valued a Power to Great a little less in this situation, so I get rid of it. It might be controversial. Who knows? Allocates 1 eye, rolls no more, and just gets 1, 2, 3 attacks. They're low on attacks, which is great for me. Like, genuinely, it gives me all the time in the world to prepare all the other nations. And yeah, I get a beautiful roll. I'm gonna move twice, hopefully. Maybe Muscle Down Gondor and Palantir. I have Dane that I can play, so I'm perfectly happy. I'm cycling like a lot as well. I'm like ahead in the cycle. I have seen more cards than Shadow has, which is rare. So, oh, my opponent tries to play pits, but they don't have enough regulars left in the force pool, so they take it back. But they play it anyway. Okay, they really did not have anything to do with these Palantirs, which is a good sign for me, like a really good sign, which means at least one of these Palantirs are gonna go towards drawing a card, right? They just didn't want to overdraw, so that's what they had to play. I think that's what the reasoning is. I pass, they draw a strategy card, I pass again. They muster in South-Rune, a regular in South-Rune, and a Nazgul. Okay, sure. I move. It's the Moria move. It's important. I'm safe. Cool. And they start moving out. So the moment they move out, because Gondor is one away from war, I need to run away with Strider, Aragorn, at this point. Because when they attack Osgiliath, I want to be able to use a muster to minister it. So this is the moment to run away. And yeah, and Aragorn is safe. They start mustering an Orthanc. Makes a lot of sense. I play Dane. I really don't know where I'm going to put these musters. I really want them to attack into Osgiliath first, so I can get actually elites from these musters. But if they choose to wait until the last action to attack, that's also fine by me. Which means these musters can go somewhere else, but I don't know where. So use a Palantir. Just delay, I guess. Or play Wisdom of Elrond, funnily enough. They play Dreadful Spells. Again, they didn't have anything to do with the Palantir, probably. They attack Osgiliath, they get a one hit. Okay. And I start bringing down Rohan, and this is quite an open-ended situation. Like, what do you do with these monsters? Do you play Wisdom of Elrond, maybe? Because I'm gonna be overdrawing anyway, but that's nothing. Like it's same as using a regular monster die. Like it doesn't give me any advantage. Yeah, like what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Technically, I can bring Gondor down, let them attack until Osgiliath, and use the last one to muster. That's an option. But I decided that if they go for Rohan, maybe I will have some time to muster in Helm's Deep. So I muster down Rohan. They tighten the noose around Gondor. And here, I think I make a slight error, and I move Rohan down one more time. And I think this is a slight error, because I think I should just move this guys into Westernnet, into Helm's Deep, or Westernnet into Fords. And do what exactly? Maybe North Downs into Ettamors, that's an option. Carrick into Old Forest Road maybe is an option. But the point is that when I move down Rohan, and they attack into Fords. Yes, they put the Rohan toward. Like, that was my idea. But then, when they're in Fords, I cannot muster in Helm's Deep and move into Helm's Deep at the same time. Like, that's... You know, I need 2 actions to be able to do that, and I only have a single action. So this moving down Rohan doesn't really accomplish anything realistic. Like, the only thing it does, if they attack into Fords and wait for me to bring these guys' investment into Helm's Deep, do something else, and then I get to muster. Then I get to reap the benefits of mustering down Rohan. So this action should just be in going into Helm's Deep or merging these forces, such that maybe in the future turns I muster down Rohan and they attack, and then I get a full free muster in Helm's Deep. So I think this is a little... a bit of a mistake, but oh well. So Because I didn't do anything with Gondor, they attack Osgiliath. It's basically the same situation. I use Confusion. They swarm with Battered away. That's really nice. I guess they might have expected scouts, but I really didn't want to use the scouts in this situation because I'm gonna get a full-on elite anyway. So might as well try to confuse them. I would have confused them once, which is nice, and they get a hit. I don't, so they plop themselves in Osgiliath, which is good for them. Really nice. If I don't roll any musters next turn, right? They then I don't get an elite, so that would be funny, and not foreshadowing at all. So here I get a very interesting card. I think I throw away. I will go alone, by the way. Though I will go alone, is that it would be really powerful in Up in Erebor, provided they mustered 3.5 dice worth of units in South Rune. You know, I think I should throw away. I will go alone though. Yep. Fear Fire Foes is very interesting because I still haven't killed Gandalf yet. I can still technically get him in Grey Havens and move the north to war. And make the Dew Line even more of a nuisance, maybe? It is certainly a thought. Depending on what my opponent rolls and whatnot, but I allocates one eye, rolls, finally gets a decent roll with 4 attacks, and I get only movement. So this beautiful play around mastering Gondor, mastering Rohan, getting ready to muster a bunch of units, it kind of just like massively backfired. And I'm not even sure that's a fault of my own because, you know, yeah, I don't know. Is it crazy for me to expect 2 musters in 5 dice? Probably not, right? Technically, I've been down on movement at this point, so this kind of balances out, but like it balanced out at the worst possible time. And my opponent had not been getting any attacks, so it kind of like moves the game into a more average zone in a weird way. But yeah, like this is just a bad roll, unfortunately. They're just gonna get to cover Gondor, and I can't do anything about it. Essentially, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, just cover both is possible. So, well, they immediately attack Pelargir. Here, I have to. I'm trying to like stop them from covering Gondor efficiently, right? I'm trying to like maybe not get the entire Gondor besieged. And here I decided to use a scout such that I can guarantee an escape into Lamadon. And maybe get this unit somehow into Dol Amroth. Though if that's my idea, I probably should scout in when I'm in Lamadon, provided that I survive, but that's not even a given. So I just scouted away. But my opponents also play the card, so I don't mind wasting one of their cards as well. So I scout into Lamadon, and yeah, at this point I pass. And my opponent drops Shadows Moving. And this turned out to be an unintentional, very good play by me. Like obviously I was not gonna let the unit die. But like the Shadow was moving is very powerful in this situation. Had they been able to go to Lamadon, start organizing in East Rune, get into Osgiliath, and maybe cover Lost or Not, like that could have been like one of the best Shadows moving plays of all time, right? Not only it would also allow them to get an attack into DA. Like they had 4 attacks. If they had 5, they can also take DA. So like this turned out to be such an annoyance for my opponent that yeah, they also mention it. So they just like move everyone And instead of this Vesser Herondor move, imagine this massive army was in Lamadon. Though I might have played Deadman in that case. But then Strider would die. I don't know if I would have done that. I genuinely. Yeah, I mean, they're playing around Deadman. It's so funny, actually. If they don't take Lossernacht here, and I'm just only realizing this now, if they don't take Lossernacht here, and I deadman them, no matter how many hits I get to them, right? Like, let's say I just get one hit, they can't retreat into Lossernacht. They have to retreat into Osgiliath or Vesser Herondor. And due to stacking limit sizes thing, they would have to almost return an entire stack back into the force pool. Which is actually a huge deal, right? Like, it's almost like killing the entire army. It's exactly like killing the entire army because shadow units already go back to the shadow force pool when you kill them. So that would have been a massive play. I think this Lossernacht play is very important to note. Because usually, like, for example, I don't like taking Lossernacht because it's like a useless muster point. Like, who cares? But like in this situation, it actually matters massively. Right? Or you don't go to Vesser Herondor with this Southern Eastern Lang army, but like, oh well, what can you do? Maybe you just merge into Eastern. But like, it's an important thing to note, I think. So I will. Yeah. Had this turn gone a little different, maybe, I don't know, maybe I can think about deadmanning it, but then I immediately get attacked and I have to run away with Strider again. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, you know? Very interesting, very interesting. How would you defend as free people here? So here I move, I want to move. Like, would you play a Deadman here in this situation? They would just go back to Lossernacht in this situation and re-attack and might kill Aragorn, which would be disastrous for me. But yeah. So I move, I'm safe. They attack Lamadon. They annihilated my... I get one hit. And here, do you maybe maybe attack here? I think you probably never attack here because you're out in the open, which makes the re-attack even more dangerous. But does that change the math on how many attacks they would need to cover DA is the big question. Like, can I stop them from taking DA or covering DA or Minas Tirith? I don't think I can. Wait, they attack here. I can, but it would require me to risk Strider maybe. It's I don't know. I'm not gonna go over it. I think it's close. I genuinely don't know. Like they would need to have another attack. They have 2 attacks, which means they can cover these 2 strongholds very efficiently. If I just deadman in this spot, they can't cover both. They can't cover both, which means that one of the strongholds will get to have a muster in it. I mean, DA getting a 1 muster in, not the end of the world. Plus, like, I will have played Deadman, so they can just, like, willy-nilly walk this army and just cover Gondor. I have nothing else to worry about. Like, playing Deadman also has that side effect, right? Once you play it, Shadow is so much more relieved that it's out of the way. It's kind of like a Day Without Dawn, but like for reversed, right? So I don't know. I choose not to play it. I move. I get caught finally, and here I get a one-eye reveal, and I decide to use Axe and Bow. I wanted to hide and move again, so I don't need to kill Gandalf inefficiently, and I get a 0. Not the end of the world. I will hide and move again, and get hit again most likely. They attack DA. I hide. Oh, preemptive draw. They muster an Orthanc. I move. Buy Gandalf 6, and it's a 2. You know, I saved 1 corruption. I will save 1 corruption. And they attack DA. Here is a very interesting question again. Do you attack DA or do you cover Minas Tirith? they're obviously playing around cards like Imrahil and Círdan, but also they have a handful of cards which they would want to cycle and potentially just like shed before discarding for hand size, which makes a lot of sense. Once you're done with DA, then you can very safely attack Minister it and bring these Wester Huron guys, at least some of them, because you still have to play around Deadmen, by the way, and then just take Minister it like that. So I think I agree. Like it's a very easy fight. So getting over with, it's certainly correct. Yeah, though you're only playing around Círdan, right? Because if I get an Elite Mustard and Ministerit, that's kind of basically the same value as Imrahil, like ish. So, like fine. And they blow it up. Cool. I get 3 hits. I get 2 hits, and yeah, that's DA. And there's no, I don't think I can take it back, even with Deadman. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I move again because I can, and they catch me. And the important thing is that I'm not revealed here. I decide to take a random, maybe get a Hobbit. It's Boromir. Oh well, it happens. My opponent drops, a new Powers Rising, and yeah, suddenly Orthanc and Helm's Deep are looking very, very much in the chopping block. And don't really have anything to defend them, to be honest. Yeah. Ants are not even playable. Yeah, but we'll see. All right. So turn 6. Get guards. Really good. Elven Cloak. Here I decide to get rid of Fear Fire Foes, I think. It's because that Gandalf needs to show up in Fangorn and defend Rohan. Like at least I need to represent some Ents to not let this entire army leave Orthanc. And yeah, the marginal benefit that I can get from mustering the north felt small. So I decide to kill Fear Fire Foes, which might be a mistake, but I don't know. Maybe still getting rid of Heroic Death maybe is better. I don't know. So I declare, no reason not to. Opponent allocates 1 eye, roll 2 more. Again, a very fine roll, and I don't get a will, which is unfortunate, but I get a decent roll. Like I have cards I want to play, like Guards, Elven Cloak. I have a Muster for Minas Tirith, which I immediately do. And yeah, my opponent just like moves leadership, and hard signals going for Rohan. Again, I don't know what I would do. I can't see the shadow cards, but yeah, there's this huge stack. People usually like going for Rohan the last thing that they can before, because if Saruman dies, that's like would be the end of the game. But if they get entire Rohan, that's 3 points. Minas Tirith and Gondor is like 5, 8 points, plus Wooden Realm is enough. So they don't even have to engage Gimli, though they have spent a 3.5 dice worth of musters up in here. So, you know, I would really want to use these dudes to, you know, go attack Gimli maybe, but yeah. So I defend Helm's Deep, and this is what I was talking about. I needed to have a moment to bring these guys back into Helm's Deep, such that an attack into Fords can put Rohan to war, and then I can get a muster in. But I don't have any musters, so you know, I meant well. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. So they muster one more time in Orthanc. This is a massive army. Like, yeah, all the Isengard elites, all the wargs are mustered. They attack fords. Cannot play anything. they completely whiff, which is great for me because at least, and I deal 1 damage back, and I get to retreat into Helm's Deep for a full stack. I'm not sure if leaving 1 in Fords was correct there, but I really didn't want them to just go to Westamnet, maybe. Maybe leaving 1 in Fords was a mistake, but like, got lucky, did not get caught there. My opponent leaves, like, again, this is exactly why I need Gandalf and Fangorn, so that they can't do stuff like this. Because if Gandalf is in Fangorn, they cannot leave 2 behind. I might very easily have 2 Ents here with 5 character cards. Even a single Ent can kill it. So I move, I get caught, super caught, but not revealed, fine. I get random, it's Pippin. So Pippin can reach Minas Tirith. Or Fangorn. I guess Fangorn. Yeah, but like, I cannot play an Ent, because for Ents to be playable, you need Gandalf the White to be in play. So I really am not threatening the Ents. Though this allows me to get Gandalf and move him with like We Prove the Swifter and still threaten the Ents. That's why I put him in Fangorn. But like, putting him in Minas Tirith would certainly be lore accurate and maybe correct. So yeah, I'd be curious to know where you put him. All these cards, like Daring Defiances and Heroic Deaths, I really want to keep for Gimli, for when my opponent eventually attacks Erebor. But like, obviously, if I have a companion in Minas Tirith, they would also be playable in Minas Tirith and therefore still be good. So, all right. So they attack Helm's Deep. I move again, caught again, and finally I'm revealed. So the reason I'm moving this aggressively is because I have not been revealed. Like, I don't care about corruption, but like, not being revealed in the last 2-3 moves have been a blessing, because it kept me moving. Imagine I used these dice to hide, I would still be around like part Celebrand maybe. So I don't care about corruption. Had I not even been revealed right this move, I would have been able to use a ring to get into Mordor, which is would not be bad, because no special tiles have been played, no character cards have been played. It would have been great, though it would have been certainly lucky, but you know, I had to try that luck. Unfortunately, I'm revealed, so I cannot get in Mordor, which is huge for my opponent. They drop Fighting Uruk-hai into Devilry. Makes sense. They get 4 hits. They just completely, I'm just going to skip over a little bit. They completely annihilate Rohan in 2 turns. I don't even play my Ents, basically. Maybe it's a mistake, but like, seeing that they left Orthanc undefended, I wanted to keep the Ents to potentially kill Saruman. But like, this is a huge leftover army. They will be able to cover the rest of Rohan pretty easily. So I play Elven Cloaks. Like, when your opponent goes on a rampage, military rampage, with the final Palantir, playing Elven Cloaks when you're not even in Mordor feels a little meh. Like, it feels like it's dirty, but like, literally nothing else I could do. And they muster in Orthanc, very astute, very safe. Turn 7, draw into Mirror and Path of the Voses. Again, probably get rid of Path of the Voses here. Rohan is looking rough, though I can muster summon Edoras and just suddenly plop in Druden Forest or Esgiliath to help defend Minas Tirith. It's not the crazy idea. Maybe I don't need 2 heroic deaths, because assuming my opponent is going for Gondor, Rohan, and Woodland Realm, there's really no playable heroic death targets. But I'm still kind of waiting for them to attack Erebor. I think killing Mirror of Galadriel here is probably the correct play, but I kill Path of the Voses, probably a slight mistake, due to how that card is probably more flexible. So I look at one eye, they look at one eye, roll one more, get a decent roll, I think. And I get a beautiful roll. I get a bunch of wills, get into Mordor roll. Yeah, that's a Gandalf as well. So I finally get Gandalf. Welcome, White Wizard. You were kind of late, not really. I did play Wizard Staff. So, okay. So they go to Westemnets. Yep, they're covering Edoras. I decide to be a little bit of a nuisance to waste their attack and start getting some leaders. I think because of the number of attacks they rolled, they weren't able to cover Minas Tirith in the previous round. Which allowed me to get a leader in there. And yeah, this is good for me. But like they've been rolling a lot of muscles, and we joke about like what they should do. What would you do with muscles as Shadow here? Personally, I was thinking about they can just muster in North Dunland, and maybe go for Rivendell or the Shire. Like take this, maybe go for 4 cities. Like if you muster in North Dunland a couple more times, I really cannot defend against 4 cities, though I do. That's the reason, one of the reasons I kept Dead Menadon Harrow. So, but I don't have tokens, so I can't really guarantee that I pull this off. If they just leave an attack open, they can just attack and retake Pelargir. So, I think Muster in North Dunland makes a lot of sense. Because I really don't see any other like musterable immediate spots. If you want to avoid Erebor, yeah, this is a very much an overkill. Some musters in North Dunland could definitely maybe fake Rivendell and then pivot back to Lorien with like Shadows Gather or Lengthens maybe. Yeah, I do have all the elves, so I usually like putting in North Dunland, but anyway. They attack Minas Tirith. I kind of joke that they should defend Mordor because Aragorn can, I don't know, do stuff. But yeah, that's really not even a threat. They play a red, fair. They play the second red, now a little rude. Joking, of course. I hide with the Palantir, and they muster in Minas Tirith. Makes a lot of sense. They might want to reinforce this Minas Tirith siege. Certainly possible. They have these huge armies, huge army on Westemnet. They will cover Rohan. They can bring these guys back. But like if they leave Rohan too open, there's a card called Riders of Theoden that can recruit units, Rohirrim, where a companion is present. In this case, Easternet. Or sometimes, if they completely leave it open, they can go into fords, like Pippin can go into fords, recruit with Riders of Theoden, and retake Helm's Deep if they leave it open. So there are some like niche situations that you might want to be wary of, which is kind of really cool. It's not a big issue here. I would not leave this much units, but it's just something to think about, which is a lot, which just happens a lot in this game. So I move into Mordor. I really don't want them to reveal me with like an Orc Patrol or any other tile drawing card, because they have not played it immediately after I hid. I was safe to move in. I am safe. They mustered and ministered it. And here is the age-old question where do you play around Cruel Weather or not? For me to play around Cruel Weather, I have to give them a ring and move again. And I can guarantee myself into Mordor. They have a single character card, and they put 2 red tiles in. And they did so with Palantirs, right? They kept an attack up that also could play Cruel Weather. But in my honest to God opinion, they don't have it here. Because I don't think they would have played the turn the way that they have had they had Cruel Weather. I think they would have played one red, maybe not, maybe, and they left a Palantir open in case I, right? If they had not played the two reds there, if I move in, give them a ring, they just play the second red. And they, yeah, Cruel Weather is just going to be a combat card in their hand. But when they play both reds immediately, I'm like, okay, then they're really expecting me to be in Mordor. They're not really expecting me to not be in Mordor next turn, so that's why they played both immediately. Because if you expect me to be outside of Mordor, you would not have put the reds that aggressively, if that makes any sense. But I really don't have any playable cards. Like, I don't want to play guards for a single leader. We prove the Swifter. Putting in Gandalf this early is very risky. I want to kind of surprise them. Eagles are coming. Like, where though? Yeah, like, I really don't have any playable cards. Maybe Ents. Like, what am I gonna do? Try to weaken Saruman and play what? Like, I really didn't have anything. I didn't want to draw a card, obviously. I really didn't have anything else to do. So I was like, okay, if they have Cruel Weather, though, I just like lose the game. So I'm just gonna respect it. So I kind of think about it. I just gave in and I move to be safe. Because again, losing is just, if I have my read, if my read is wrong, I kind of lose the game. So I'm like, let's not do that. And they catch me and they reveal me, which is a little lucky because it's a 4 out of 10. It's not that lucky. It's 40%. But any of these ones, I just get down to Gollum and I don't reveal. So the fact that it's an eye, it's, you know, a little unfortunate, but at least it's a good tile for Gollum that's still in the pool for Mordor, right? Yep, get down to Gollum, and this tile is a 3. So it's been a very expensive move. And I just like ate 4 corruption because of it. Because the Cruel Weather, the threat of Cruel Weather, right? Like, it's not even, they don't even have it. I'm pretty sure they don't have it. But just the threat of it caused 4 corruption to me. Yeah, and then I kind of just like say Cruel Weather is stupid. It really is. I wonder if the card could have been better, and the same goes for Corsairs. If you kind of like knew when Shadow had it, like if it was like a double-sided card, if it was like double printed, so you know you could like see when Shadow has it, or if Shadow has it or not, right? So then you can actively choose to play around it versus playing into it. Like, it changed nothing about the card other than the fact that you just tell your opponent if you have it or not, right? Which might allow the players to like choose to like try to defend against it or play around it, right? But because when you don't even know if your opponent has it, if they don't have it, you just don't have to play around it. And honestly, it's the fact that you have to play around those cards what makes them as strong as they are. So anyway, yeah, those cards are just probably, they're just like really strong, unfortunately, but what can you do? So they attack into Dale. Yep, I play one of my heroic deaths. They get a single hit, which means heroic death saved me a hit. Though technically I would really want to put a leader in Erebor instead of a regular unit. So I just go to Old Forest Road. I don't really know why. I think it's probably because if they attack into Erebor, they have to leave some units behind. I want it to be a little bit more of a nuisance. So makes sense. We go to turn 8. Draw into Eomer, which is really good. Technically want to maybe cause some problems. House of the Stewards. A Brave Stand. Again, really good, especially with Reprove the Swifters, so we take those. What do you get rid of here is, again, a tough choice. I think it should be Eomer. After saying Eomer was good, am I gonna really throw away Eomer? Because my idea is Reaper the Swifter these guys into Minas Tirith and just like defend till the world's end. Yeah, what do I get rid of here? This is a very tough choice. I think I don't want to get rid of guards. I think I'm going to get rid of Eomer. Oh, nope. Reprove the Swifter. Wow, I got rid of Reprove the Swifter. That can't be right. That can't be right. I don't like it. Okay, we moving on. Okay, I'm in Mordor. Allocates 1 eye, rolls 2 more. Gets a beautiful roll. I get a full movement. Fellowship is moving. It's not the greatest hunt pool as well. Like the eyes are 3 reveal. There are 2 reds, a single nice tile, and I mean couple nice tiles. 4 very nice tiles. Even those 2 is not that bad. So 1 second. I think we're fine. I apologize for any construction sounds and noises. One of the reasons I wasn't able to record as many videos as I would like, but okay, moving on. So here, because I rolled many movement, I would like to muster with some, if I don't mind. I don't know where I mustered actually. Like an Edoras and Fold. Okay, yeah, just make it a little bit more of a nuisance. They cover Fold, they want to attack, obviously there. I play Eomer, okay. You know, this is a respectable army. It can't get away, but at least it makes some ends playable. And if this fight goes south, then I can retake some stuff. So I'm just like looking to get lucky, maybe, in some certain ways. I don't think bringing Gandalf in even helps because of how many wargs they have. So they play Ulukai to get to full combat strength. They want to roll 5 dice, obviously. I attack Fold here. I really did not want to move like a lot again. I want to take back Fold, and then maybe, by the way, I get a hit, they don't. I want to maybe go harass this army in Minas Tirith and maybe save it. So this is one of the reasons why a Path of the Roses earlier in the game would have been really good. I could have like, I didn't have to attack Fold. I could just Path of the Roses into Jordan Forest and maybe have an attack into Minas Tirith. Right? Like, you can see how that could have been a useful thing to do. Here, I don't move anybody in. And because there was no control markers, like I was like mistaken that I could like retreat here. But in fact, this Fold is under shadow control right now, so I cannot. So I kind of just like ask it is, and then I ask my opponent if I could like move back. They allow me. It's very nice of them to do so. They don't like technically they don't have to because after the die. But I think I'm a huge proponent of just like, it's a long game. Both players make mistakes. Earlier in the turn, my opponent showed me like pits and asked to retake it, even though they played it again. Like I allowed them. There's no reason to like rule shark anyone in this game because I think everybody makes mistakes, and like you will need the same courtesy back to you. And it's a more important thing to just create a community of players that respect one another instead of trying to rule shark one another. So, what the hell? Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. They graciously allow me. They attack. Where do they attack? So they attack at us. They play a character card. It could be Dren Despair. If it's Dren Despair, this Entmoot is really bad. So I really want to play around that. But so I play Heroic Death. It's a Orc Patrol, which is good. They get 3 hits, which is really nice. I get 1 hit. And yeah, they press, and my elite goes back to Fold. Which is just be annoying. Just keep being annoying. I still haven't shown help unlooked for, even though I killed it earlier in the turn. I might just, if they attack me into Druiden Forest, if they let me like retreat back into Druiden Forest, maybe I can threaten that. Who knows? But I hide. They put the Shelob layer. Like the hunt pool is really bad, like really, really bad. The corruption's not a problem, but like I will need to dunk in 2 turns. They're gonna get Minas Tirith, and they're gonna get something else very easily. So I need to dunk in 2 turns, which means I need to get going. And it's a 0, like the best tile, as good as the blue's 0. They attack fold with a card. I cannot play cards. They now go search. They want to cycle cards. Makes sense. They get 2 hits. I get 1. They press. I go to Druiden. You know, just block their way. Just body block their way to not let them move efficiently. Right? They would really want to move out this Minas Morgul army if I allow them to move efficiently. So I move again. Again, I have to dunk potentially next turn, and it's a 3. Again, not the worst tile, not by far. And the question is, do you reveal here or do you just take it? I need to be quick. I cannot afford to reveal. I just take it, go up to 6. All right, so they get the mouth. So turn 9. I get the red arrow, which would have been really good last turn, but oh well. And I draw into Gva here, and this, you know, obviously I did not know that I would draw into Gva here, but like certainly not punished for throwing away Vipro the Swifter there. Like it's, yeah, that was a huge mistake. Allocates 1 eye, rolls 1 more, gets a beautiful roll. And not that beautiful, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks. 5 with a ring. Minas Tirith. And where? Minas Tirith and Woodland Realm. You probably need 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, you can definitely win this turn. Like, absolutely, right? 1, 2, 3 attacks. Bring the leadership, like, manually. 4, 5 attacks. It can certainly be done. 1, 2, 3, 4, ring, and maybe you have Grond, or you played Fighting Uruk-hai. Maybe you also have a Palantir attack. Like, it's very much possible. So I have a ring. I have to move. I have exact movement to potentially dunk. And it's an eye. Okay, I can still dunk. Not the end of the world. The reveal hurts more than the corruption, even though I'm like starting to creep up. They play Black Captain commands. Yeah, they beautifully organize. They attack Minas Tirith with a strategy card. I don't have any cards that I can play because Gandalf is not inside Minas Tirith. Yeah. Like, very beautifully played. I don't know if I would have preemptively moved in Gandalf with Pippin into Minas Tirith, expecting something like this, because I obviously expect him to move leadership first. But like Black Captain Commands allows them to move the leadership and also make an attack, so I don't have time. So very well played. I don't know if I should have played around it. Though if I do that, I can't move with a will, then I lose Today Without Dawn. And they drop Rage, and I don't have any cards. Uncontested Rage, Relentless Assault is dangerous. They take 2, they get a single hit, they get a single hit. Like, this was such a lucky roll for me. It's unbelievable. And I get 4 hits back. The hits back does not really matter that much, if I'm going to be totally honest. Not taking, like, only taking 1 hit matters quite a lot, though. The reason I say that it doesn't matter, because this army Nosgood is going to very easily reinforce. At this point, even a dead man play doesn't get them like off the winning, because they have 3 cities, which is, if they win both sieges, they will be at 11 points. So dead man is just not going to do anything. So what I'm trying to say, they can, like, they don't have to play for retaking Pelargir. So all these armies can just go on top of Minas Tirith and just like take it. But obviously it's nice. Like, I'm not complaining about getting 4 hits. Here, I drop the guards. That needs to happen because they will need to reinforce. They use a muster, flip the mouth to move, and then at this point I play the ants. The only time it's playable, get 2 hits, and go out here, Gandalf into Minas Tirith. So would you have also brought Pippin? I probably should, in all honesty. It makes Brave Stand much better. It makes cards like Sudden Strike much better, right? And I really don't care about killing Saruman at this point in the game. Like, that ship has sailed. Though, having Gandalf in Minas Tirith, my opponent can just bring these guys from Fold manually into Dudan Forest and into Minas Tirith, and they get 3 leadership. And if they also move the mouth, they can just like go up to 5 leadership, even through Gandalf's Shining. And yeah, they have the dice to be able to do that. Right? 1, 2, 3, ring attack. But like, you would also want to make an attack here. So you can't bring the mouth, but you can definitely bring these 3 leadership here into, and also get an attack. So they can do it. But like, then they can't take Woodland Realm. So they attack Woodland Realm. They want to be done with it. No, I don't think this fight matters that much, but they miss. They don't have full leadership, but you obviously expect 1 hit at least. I deal 2. They press. No card, no card. They get no hits again. I deal 2 back. They press again. So far, I have dealt 6 damage to that 15 hit point army. Right? It was a 5/5 or something. 2/2 each, 2 presses. So that should be 6 hits anyway. Finally, they decide to use because if the combat round goes eel 1 more time, then they might not even take it. So they play a strategy card, and it's a Deadly Strife, which is huge. So, and they get 4 hits and immediately finish the fight, which is fair. Which, getting unlucky in the first couple of rounds meant that they have to use Deadly Strife. And then that's 1 less Deadly Strife Gandalf has to deal with, luckily for me. So they attack Minas Tirith, I shine. I really don't have any playable cards. They play a strategy card. I have to respect it. Play Beret Stand into Mumakil. It's nice. That's good. They get 0. I get 2. They press. I think they're pressing because they want to bring these guys into Fold if they have to win next turn, which makes sense. Okay, so they attack again. No, they're pressing, sorry. Yep, no card into no card. They get 1 hit. I get 3. 5 hits. Okay, this matters significantly, obviously. Yeah, this just saves me a turn. Like, right? Gandalf managed to hold. They start mustering him in Minas Tirith. They can use Shadow's Gather. I still have not seen that card. But I don't think they can win this turn. I hide. They muster 1 more time. I mean, they can Shadow's Gather and attack, ring attack. Like, they can still win this turn. So I like move. And if I'm revealed here, or if I draw the red, it's basically GG. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles out of 10. Just end the game. No, not end the game, but like means that I can't dunk. So that's 60%. Like 6 out of 11 tiles. So it's a little bit less than 50%. A little bit more than 50%. That like the game just, I can't dunk. But I got a 1. And I just take it and I don't reveal, and I keep my chance to dunk live. They play Shadow's Gather. They make a massive army. And this is, again, a big question. Do you move again? Or do you just hope Gandalf holds? And I've made this mistake myself. Like, I expected a stronghold to hold when I could have moved. And the hunt is like, hunt pool is like this, and only 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles, 4 out of 10, 40% chance to win, right here. They have a 12 hit point army against a 7 hit point army. They have 2 strategy cards. With no leadership. They also brought them out, so they have 2 leadership. So they're rolling about like 7 dice. Oh my god. I think my dog has... Look, apologies. My dog loves to bark at the door. So, okay. They're rolling 7 dice. And they have 6 rounds of combat with all the presses they have, which means they're rolling about 42 dice. And you would expect about 7 hits, like 7 sixes out of 42 dice. If you expect every dice to be 1/6 of a hit. Plus they have cards. I just thought that they could just win. And I kind of think about it. And I don't have any playable cards. Like, Sudden Strike is not bad, but like, it's not going to move the needle that much. I just move. It's 40% to win. And yeah, I just think about it and I just move. I just take my 40% and be happy with it. And hallelujah, it works out. It just works out. I don't know what to say. Certainly very lucky to avoid all the reds, all the eyes, like throughout the climb. It was certainly lucky, 100%. And the couple, like the first round in Minas Tirith, where my opponent played an uncontested Relentless Assault, not getting massively hit also mattered. Though it's still this turn, so I guess that wouldn't have mattered. But like, yeah, that obviously like delays and causes stuff to happen. But yeah, like, yeah, just managed to dunk. The Frodo got there in the end, and yeah, managed to win this one. A very exciting game. Honestly, out of the just got a very chill Mordor. I don't know what to say. I don't want to spoil the other game, so I'm kind of reluctant. But like the next game was even crazier. But yeah, I'm just happy to have got one in the bag at least. You know, I'm happy to have just be on the board basically. But yeah, it was an awesome game. Again, thank you to Amroth for they're nice. They're a very cool player to play against. A very awesome person. It was really fun. And yeah, I'm sure there were a lot of mistakes made by me. If you have noticed some that I have not that missed me, please let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and be on the lookout for game 2 for this matchup. And so yeah, that's it for me today. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh, sorry, I forgot the statistics of the game. My apologies. It's been a while. Okay, so let's go over. Been high on movement. Felt like it in some turns for sure. A little bit high on combat for sure. They are down on 6s, but overall positive on combat. It certainly mattered in where they attacked Woodland Realm. That they didn't roll any 6s. But my opponent is plus done on musters, like, and very much down on movement. So they had to bring massive armies to just finish the job immediately. And they did that. Like, they legitimately were, they just win, right? But yeah, as far as the luck goes, I think the dice luck tells, yeah, they were high on musters. I was a little high on combat. certainly this way, but I think the Mordor like definitely changed the game a lot more than dice like combat rolls. And by the way, I forgot to also show you this. My opponent showed me their two strategy cards afterwards, and they are We Come to Kill and Onslaught, which are really excellent cards to deal with Gandalf. I also wanted to wanted to run the battle simulator, so let me just set that up. Okay, here we are. So, Shadow is attacking with 252 because the only mouth leadership account is considered. The Gandalf Shining, the simulator, unfortunately does not account for that, but you can easily manually just set the leadership of the actual like effective leadership of the army, so it's not a big deal. And it's against the 322, and my opponent would just press. They would use a single die, and this fight is actually at 25% for them to win, which is not crazy. Which is not crazy at all. And provided that they also had We Come to Kill and Onslaught, it's 40, 42, 44%. It's basically the same odds as me dunking. So maybe I should not have gone for the dunk, but I do have Sudden Strike that I can play. Again, just doesn't change the order at all. But yeah, it's not... It's 40%. And I suspect it... I didn't expect it to be this low, by the way, first of all. But I think it's this low because if I deal more than 2 damage, they will start eating away from their presses, right? Which means they won't get 5 full presses. Very unlikely. They will most likely get like 3 presses or 4 presses, depending on how I roll. Which is like, yeah, it's not that given that they take it actually. But obviously, if this is like a full 5/5, I realize I'm giving just 3 hit points. But yeah, suddenly it's only now it's close actually to the 60% of their win rate. It's not even that. It's still 50, 55-ish. Which means it's still less than 60% if I move. So maybe moving there was wrong in hindsight. But obviously it looks very scary and out of your hands. It feels for some reason that it's in your hands if you move, and if you don't move, it's not in your hands. If you know what I mean. In both ways, it's just like you're just at the mercy of randomness anyway. So very very close fight, though. Maybe because of maths, it means that I should have just like trusted in Gandalf. The Gandhi man could have hold. Yeah, that's about it. Like, yeah, if I don't move, obviously, depending on how many eyes my opponent rolls, then all these eyes might be not lethal as well, which obviously increases my win rate from 40% to 70%, which is a huge increase if I can like hold out 1 turn. Though I will say the simulator does not really account for onslaught that properly. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Suddenly not playing onslaught gives you more odds to win. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense because the way the onslaught is coded is just you have to like the simulator assumes a certain strategy for onslaught. Since onslaught is okay, I need to also lower this. Wait 1 second. Yeah, it's a 50 55 57-ish%. It's very close to actually the dunk percentage, like the reverse dunk percentage. Let's say round 4 you drop the onslaught, like you wait until the last possible moment. Yeah, 60%. It's a very close fight. I'm kind of surprised how close it actually is. What if I just like played on the last round? Like, it doesn't. I guess it does not last. Like the fight doesn't go for 6 rounds often. Probably is like 5 or 60-ish. Yeah, I think the fight on average goes about like 4 rounds. So that's like the last possible play, the last possible round to play Onslaught on average, which is why this is on round 4 the highest. Yeah, just 60%. Just like really close. So maybe moving was correct. In after all that said is all, then oh my god, I think my layout has been messy a little bit, but yeah, I think it's a very close fight. Is all this is to say. It's very close fight compared to the dunk percentage of the Fellowship, uh, which is cool. But yeah, again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little math section that I'm gonna add on after saying goodbye. But again, I hope this was entertaining and instructive, and you had fun, you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.